Today is the beginning of 2015. We are accustomed to stock taking for our economic balance sheets. And it is very important for managing your business. Let us make our balance sheet of spiritual growth. The moon completed 12 revolutions around the earth. The earth has completed 1 revolution around the sun. We too have completed 1 revolution around the sun. Today we begin the same cycle all over again. How much of last year do we remember? How many times we have made New Year resolutions? Maybe 10, 20, 30 or none. What are the most outstanding events or things that you remember from the last year? Perhaps you may not remember very many of them. This year is no more different from the old one. Last year we experienced many trillions of very fresh new moments, and they passed away at the blink of our eyes. Our hearts beat more than 36 million times. Every minute our blood produced 7 million white blood cells. Every new moment, new minute, new hour, new day, new week, new month, new year that we have experienced are gone. All of them are added to our history. We experience the sunrises, sunsets, moon rises, moon sets, cloud appearing and disappearing, rains coming and going, plants growing and dying, flowers blossoming and fading away, pollen coming and going away, allergies coming and going away. We have gone through old, cold, flu and hay fever. We have seen new cars, new computers, new bills, new headaches, new crimes, murders, killings, new births, growth, decay, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief and despair. All repeated themselves. The list is endless. These and many more are the events that took place last year, the year before last, and many more years from time immemorial. In that sense, there is nothing new except the repetition of the eternal pattern of impermanence, repetitions of old stuff. When we gain something new, we rejoiced. When we lost, we were sad. When we were recognized, we were happy. When we were ignored, we were disappointed. When we were praised, we were glad. When we were blamed, we were sad. When we were happy, sometimes we were delighted. When we had pain, we were depressed. These are the things we are going to repeat this year and years infinitum. In reality, there is nothing new. When we are young, year passed very slowly. As children, after celebrating one new year or one new birthday, we waited impatiently for very long time, looking forward to the next year, next birthday. Even the middle of July, we thought it was Christmas time. In 1 July, I was traveling in Berlin, in Germany. Seeing me walking, a little toddler girl, maybe 2 or 3 years old, said to her mother, "Mommy, Weihnachtsmann, Weihnachtsmann." That means Santa Claus. This was in July. Now, year passes very quickly. As grown-ups, soon after one new year, the next comes. After one birthday, next comes. As adults, we are so busy, even we forget our own birthdays. As adults, we can see impermanence more clearly. When we look back at last year, we see we have done not very much for ourselves. Time and tide wait no man. Now we are not looking forward to growing old anymore. Now we regret that we have grown old. Now we want to stop growing anymore. Even go back 30 years if possible. And we learn to discard. We discard old calendars, old clothes, old shoes, old umbrellas, old books, old Christmas cards, old New Year cards, old birthday cards, and old furniture. Some people have let go of their old business and old locations and old jobs. Some let go of their old partners and find new ones. You may say, yes, this is the nature of everything. We consume food and drinks and eventually discard them. We breathe in air, use it up and discard it. But we don't discard any of our old unwholesome habits and adopt new unwholesome habits. We are very reluctant to let go of our harmful habits. We rather acquire more and more harmful habits. We don't let go of our habits of eating junk food. We are reluctant to give up the habit of drinking harmful stuff. Instead of making our lives simpler and more meaningful, we make our lives even more hectic and complicated. Our senses are quite used to harmful habits. They are very pleasing to our minds. We are accompanied with harmful thoughts, words and deeds. Once what's used to them, once got used to bad habits, we are comfortable with that. Until we have completely ruined our lives, our health, we become obsessed with them. We don't know how many times we have repeated our bad habits last year. How many times we have said, I will never smoke again, never drink alcohol, never take illicit drugs, and never gamble. Last year, how many times we have broken our promises. We find it difficult to adopt wholesome habits. Even if we reluctantly acquire some wholesome habits, we are more reluctant to maintain them. We find countless excuses to forget anything unwholesome. So we find it easy to adopt unwholesome habits. We are attached to them and enjoy them. At the same time, we find it very difficult to adopt wholesome habits and find it difficult to be happy with them and even to maintain them. So we must decide to make this year, make the best use of this year. We may regret remembering many precious moments that we have not used meaningfully in the past year. This is the time for us to make a new resolutions to do something spiritually beneficial. We always should remember that no time waits for man. This new year also will pass as quickly as the last year. We march with time and grow 1 year older or lose 1 year. We have moved on without stopping even for a fraction of a second. We can never regain those lost moments. The same will happen this year as well. Don't regret at the end of this year, thinking that you could not make the best use of this year. Friends, we must make the best use of every moment of this year. Every moment of last year was very short. Any moment this year is not going to be any longer. Last year we could not do very much for ourselves. 1/2 of our lives we spent in sleeping. Certain part of our life we spent in falling sick. Most of the remaining parts of our last year we spent in working, traveling, partying, gossiping, and wasting away doing countless unnecessary things. There was not very much time left for our own personal benefit, developing our skills, and doing something wholesome. We are marching on in the directions that everyone went before us, never returned. We all were born with one-way ticket. Perhaps some of you were very fortunate that you had some times to meditate, whereas most people were struggling to find time to have a peaceful moment, let alone meditating. They even had to fight to find time to be alone, even for a short period of time. I like to urge ourselves to make the best use of every moment, as I mentioned. While enjoying sensual pleasures, we should not ignore the true nature of our lives. The true nature of our life is that it is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and soulless. Ignoring this nature of life and only indulge in sensual pleasures, you will be like a man who drinks honey while being surrounded by three dangerous situations that can cause his imminent death. Suppose there is a man traveling in a forest. Then an elephant chases him. He is running for his life. Suddenly he sees a very deep abandoned well. Its mouth is so wide that the elephant cannot jump over it. He thinks, if I jump over this well, then the elephant would not be able to catch me. So let me jump over it. But this well is too deep and too wide, even for me to jump over. Looking around desperately for something to hold on to, so he could swing over this wide and deep well to escape the elephant. He grasps it. He sees a wire hanging over his head. He grasps it with both hands and swings. Then he comes to the middle of the mouth of the well. He sees some liquid dripping along his hand. Looking up, he finds it very tasty. It is honey. Looking further up, he sees a honeycomb hanging from the point of the vine he is holding. As he is hungry and thirsty, he starts drinking the honey. Looking further up, he sees a mouse nibbling the same vine he is holding. Looking down, he sees a most venomous snake in the well. If he falls into the well, this poisonous snake might bite him, causing his death. He sees the elephant coming towards him. The snake is gazing at him. The most difficult situation. The mouse is nibbling the vine. If he does not jump across the well and let go of the vine, he would fall into the well and the snake might bite him and kill him right there. No matter where he looks, he sees death awaiting him. Either the elephant would kill him, or the mouse would cut the vine and he falls into the well. The snake would bite him. Nothing is in his favor. Death is so imminent. Still he continues licking honey, dripping down his hands, while he is thus enjoying the taste of honey. The mouse nibbles the vine and he falls into the well and meets his death. This simile can be interpreted in two ways. If you are unwise, you may say that your life is very short, therefore enjoy it before it is too late. You are growing old and reaching death. You are going to die anyway. You do not know when it will happen, maybe soon. Therefore, enjoy when you can. Nobody knows what will happen to you tomorrow. This is how some people might interpret this simile. But if you are wise, you would ignore the taste of honey. You too know that life is too short. You would hurry up for your safety and swing as fast as you could to the other side of the well and save your life. Similarly, if you are wise, you see the surrounding problems, numerous difficulties. You would not waste a minute, a second to be mindful. You would hurry up to liberate yourself as fast as you could. For instance, if your head is on fire, you may not looking for a piano to play. When your house is on fire, you would not watch your favorite movie on TV. You rather jump out of the nearest window and save your life. Similarly, this life is on fire of greed, hatred, and delusion, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief and despair. When you see this reality, you would develop your wisdom and be mindful and try to liberate yourself. Therefore, you would be encouraged with spiritual urgency, seeing everything that we have experienced last year is gone without leaving a trace behind. We should make firm and unwavering determination to make the best use of this life, this year. This is the very profound advice. Buddha said, this body has been changing all the time. It is true, it has been changing last year. Now it is changing. It will continue to change without stopping. Just as fortress, Buddha said, just as fortress protect a city of this mind, we should be mindful of protecting ourselves. Our mind protects the mental activities from invading unskillful thoughts, words and deeds. They are soldiers of Mara, the evil one. Whatever little mindfulness we may gain, we must protect it and practice it repeatedly. Then maintain it without letting it slide away and joining the Mara's army. Also, if we cling to what we have won, that is our mindfulness, we will slide back to the Mara. So therefore, we must maintain our mindfulness without becoming attached even to the mindfulness. So, remember something, some Dhamma to encourage us. our practice. Buddha advised us to reflect on these things every day. What are the things? I am of the nature of decay. I have not gone beyond decay. Is always to be reflected upon. I am of nature to be diseased. I have not gone beyond disease. Is always to be reflected upon. I am of the nature to die. I have not gone beyond death. Is to be reflected upon every day. All that is mine, dear and delightful, will change and vanish. Is to be reflected upon. I am the owner of my karma, heir to my karma, born of my karma, related to my karma, abide supported by my karma. Whatever karma I shall do, whether good or evil, or that I shall be heir, is always to be reflected upon. Make a determination to understand Dhamma as it is. See unwholesome as their roots, and see wholesome and their roots, and try to overcome unwholesome and develop the wholesome. Even if you do something very tiny little good, something very tiny little, if it is good, repeat it again and again. But if something unwholesome, even if it is little, do not repeat it again and again. Repetition of wholesome is beneficial, repetition of unwholesome is harmful. We must remember how much we seeing, hearing about robbery in the neighborhood. Normally, we take lots of precautions about our own homes. But seeing and hearing about people dying every day, have we taken any precautions, any preparations for our own death? So, find occasions to practice. Suppose you have work to do. You know when you are engaged in your work, you may not have time to meditate. Therefore, when you are going to do a job, before you start the job, meditate. When you finish the job, think that during the job working, you could not meditate. Therefore, as soon as the work is over, try to meditate. Suppose you have a journey to make. You think during your travel you cannot meditate. Traveling is an impediment. And therefore, before the travel, meditate. When the journey is over, think that during the journey you could not meditate. Therefore, since the journey is over, as soon as it is over, meditate. And suppose you are slightly ill, then meditate. You can minimize your sickness and get well quickly. When you got well, think that during the time you were sick, you could not meditate. Therefore, let me meditate now. So, a wise person always find a way to make every moment meaningful. So Buddha said that don't discard marriage thinking, it won't come back to me. With dripping drop of water, even a water jug is filled. Little by little, a sack is filled with merits. So, Buddha asked us to develop mindfulness very ardently and practice it diligently. One time, Buddha was talking and praising the mindfulness of death. Then 6 bhikkhus were in front of him. One bhikkhu said that if he lived one day and night, he could practice mindfulness of death. The second bhikkhu said, if he lived just one day, then he could practice mindfulness of death. Third bhikkhu said, if I live 1/2 day, I will practice mindfulness of death. Fourth bhikkhu said, if I live just the time it takes to eat one meal, that is enough for him to practice mindfulness of death. The fifth bhikkhu said, if he live just the time take to eat half of his meal, that time would be enough for him to practice mindfulness of death. The sixth bhikkhu said, if I live just the time it takes to chew and swallow 4 or 5 mouthfuls of food, so that I may attain the Blessed One's teaching, I could then accomplish much. It is this way that I develop mindfulness of death. The seventh bhikkhu said, may I live just the time it takes to chew and swallow a single mouthful of food, so that I may attain to the Blessed One's teaching. I could then accomplish much. It is in this way, Venerable Sir, I can develop mindfulness of death. The eighth bhikkhu said, here, Bhante, Venerable Sir, I think, may I live just the time it takes to breathe out after breathing in, or to breathe in after breathing out, so that I may attend to the Blessed One's teachings. I could then accomplish much. It is in this way that I develop mindfulness of death. Then Buddha called the first 6 bhikkhus who dwell heedlessly. They develop mindfulness of death sluggishly for the destruction of things. Then he called the last bhikkhu. That is the bhikkhu who dwells mindfulness of death. He practiced mindfulness diligently. Friends, this thought we should keep in mind at every inhaling and every exhaling. Microbiologists say that every second 100 trillion calculations take place inside our body and mind. Every inhaling has several hundred trillions of moments. Similarly, every exhaling, several trillions changes take place in our mind and body. Every inhaling, every exhaling, within that short period of time, so many changes taking place in our mind and body. This is the way mindfulness meditator experiences impermanence. This is the way the last two bhikkhus practice mindfulness of breath and mindfulness of death. And so, it is such an important practice that we have to adapt, not to waste any single moment in our life. I'm not actually trying to make you all paranoid by talking about death and to make this New Year talk very unpalatable. But I want to mention, while enjoying pleasure, we also must think of our life very, very seriously. We are quite familiar of New Year greetings. Certainly we want to be happy. No one wants to be unhappy. At the same time, we must reflect on the possibilities in real life. We no longer are little children who are ignoring the real life. We are adults who have gone through a lot last year. Even though we do not expect any of those unpleasant events to take place in this year, we must be wise and intelligent and not forget that nothing in the world out there is under our control. If we remain mindful, we should certainly be able to face most of the unavoidable eventualities in our life. So this year we should mindfully prepare ourselves to accept surprises, this uncertain world, uncertain life. I want to mention one of my very recent experiences. I was invited to give a talk in Fredericksburg last year. On the 24th of April, the man who invited me was driving me back at about 5 o'clock in the evening. So we came to a railroad. When he got almost 4 inches close to the railroad track, he looked at the right-hand side. Then he saw Amtrak train was coming. He could not go forward because the front gate was closing. He could not reverse because the back gate was closing. But we were about 4 inches close to the railroad track. Somehow he loosened the gear and try to reverse. We managed to reverse about another 3 inches. Then this train passed so quickly. We all felt like a thunder and earthquake, and we all stunned, and there was a complete blackout. The train's speed was so fast, and it passed us so closely. It was very closest call. So when we all our car was Kashuka, and we were stunned, and we all gained our consciousness, and for that moment we all felt as if we all were dead. That is not something unusual, that is possible. So we always think, while enjoying, anything can happen to us. Try to find an excellent friend to associate with. Try to develop wholesome habits. Try to hear the Dhamma, and try to arouse energy, mindfulness, concentration, to keep them ever ready to practice. And practice Dhamma and meditation. And therefore, let us live happily without hate among those who hate. Among those who hate, we live without hate. Let us live happily without misery, helping those in misery. Finally, I like to conclude this talk by reflecting and something wishing for this year. Let us make resolution that we shall not be cruel. Let us develop right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. And we shall be diligent, energetic to do noble things and to avoid unwholesome things. Make determination to understand Dhamma. Find time to read Dhamma books. Find time to listen to Dhamma talks. Find time to meditate and try to forget unwholesome thoughts, words and deeds. And let us wish. May all beings in the eastern direction be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always make this spiritual success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in life. May they always rise above them with morality, integrity, forgiveness, compassion, mindfulness and wisdom. May all beings in the southern direction be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May they always make with spiritual success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in life. May they always rise above them with morality, integrity, forgiveness, compassion and mindfulness and wisdom. May all beings in the south direction be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May no problems come to them. May they always make it spiritual success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in life. May they always rise above them with morality, integrity, forgiveness, compassion, mindfulness and wisdom. May all beings in southwestern direction be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with spiritual success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in life. May they always rise above them with morality, integrity, forgiveness, compassion, mindfulness and wisdom. May all beings in the western direction be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May no problems come to them. May they always meet with spiritual success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in life. May they always rise above them with morality, integrity, forgiveness, compassion, mindfulness and wisdom. May all beings in the northwestern direction be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May no problems come to them. May they always meet with spiritual success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in life. May they always rise above them with morality, integrity, forgiveness, compassion, mindfulness and wisdom. May all beings in the north direction, northwestern direction, above, below, and all of them be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May no problems come to them. May they always meet with spiritual success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems and failures in life. May they always rise above them with morality, integrity, forgiveness, compassion, mindfulness and wisdom. Thank you very much for your patience.